Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, with a mouth bigger than any fulfillment center from Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hello, Amazon seller, Amazon merchants, wannabe Amazon merchants. How are you? This is Jordan Malik. This is our 17th podcast, AskJordan.net. Thank you so much for listening. You guys make this show what it is. You make the show by the questions you send in, and you make the show by listening. And it's not lost on me. I think, I know in about 6 weeks since the show debuted in late March, we've had over 7,200 downloads. 7,200 downloads, and it's not the world's most frequently accessed podcast, obviously, but that's still very impressive for a debut. And it's not lost to me that you make the show, and I'm very, very thankful that you do listen. And I like this format, and many of you are calling in and you're saying, Jordan, this format works great, and thank you, because the show is 15 minutes. Every episode we answer a different question about selling on Amazon. I try to keep it to maximum 15 minutes, and the reason why I did that is there are a lot of other podcasts for Amazon sellers or e-commerce sellers, and then there's Spreecasts, which is like, I guess, video on the web, and there's Google Hangouts and webinars, and these are things that last like an hour and a half. Now, I'm not dismissing them, and I'm not trying to insult the people that do them. There's an audience for that. Some people have an hour and a half a day, several times a day, or several times a week to listen to that and watch. And there's still some technology bugs with like the video and things like that I won't get into. But to me, there is a segment of an audience that needs to be catered to, that want to learn one or two quick things and just move on with their day, and they want to get it accomplished in 15 minutes. And that's why I do this. I think if I was going to be another podcast that's going to last an hour or an hour and a half, it's almost insulting the listener because they've had enough, right? Their day is already, if they want to learn how to sell on Amazon through podcasts or webcasts or videocasts or Spreecasts, there's already 24 choices. But are they being served if they've got limited time? And for me to ask you to sit through an hour and a half of me talking is, to me, would be an insult, because there's plenty of choices already that are out there. So thank you very much. Every episode we answer one question from you about selling on Amazon. If you've missed any of our other podcasts, go to AskJordan.net, AskJordan.net, where you'll be able to instantly listen or download them or get them on iTunes. Now, you can get 7 of my best-selling ebooks if your question is answered on this podcast. And at the end of this podcast, in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. So our question today is from Cody. Go ahead, Cody.
Hey, Jordan. This is Cody, long-time listener and big fan of your work. My question is, how do you go about picking bundles that you can sell through Amazon? How do you value things so that you can gather things together and then come up with an assumed price on what people are actually willing to pay for your bundles? Thank you.
Hey, Cody, that's a great question. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because creating bundles is one of the first ways that you're going to be able to compete as effectively as a seller. I get 2 major questions from people who are selling on Amazon. The first question they ask is, what do I sell? And then I'll give them some advice. The second question that I get, or the challenge that they have, is like, there's too much seller competition for the products I'm selling. Sellers are dropping the price and I'm losing my profit margin, etc. We've already entered the stage of what I call Amazon Seller 1.0. And that is where somebody like me can go out with a scanning app. By the way, we cover scanning apps in our May 1st episode. But I can go out and I can go to various stores, retail stores, or liquidation stores, or BJ's or Walmart or what have you. And I can find products that are marked on clearance or for sale that I can resell on Amazon. Well, up until very recently, that's been a very viable way to get product, and it still is for many people. But the proliferation of Amazon sellers is saturating the marketplace in many ways. Not in all ways, but in many ways, it's getting a little bit harder for people to find, for Amazon sellers to find products that they're going to be able to get a nice margin on consistently. And that's not in all places. I live in Long Island, New York. There's a million places where I can go right now and find product, right? If you live in the middle of Wisconsin and your retail stores you have 4 major retail stores and they're about an hour away, the propensity for you to find profitable products might be not that well. So it was very easy up until recently for people just to go out and reach for something and say, oh, this is profitable for me to sell on Amazon. I'm going to buy it and resell it. That's the Amazon 1.0, what I call, okay? So the new era that I think that many of us are going to be entering is what I call Amazon 2.0, where we're going to have to start thinking very creatively. We as sellers are going to have to start thinking creatively about how to compete effectively without dropping our price. And many times that means finding products that are not all that popular, it's hard for people to find, other sellers to find. And that's where if you scan for products at thrift stores or garage sales or yard sales, you're probably finding products that were released several years ago. And your seller competition for that is a lot less. So the challenge is going to be moving forward, if you're looking about being an Amazon seller for a long term, is what I call low-hanging fruit, and I hate that phrase because all the MBAs use it. But the stuff that's easy to find to sell on Amazon for profit is going to get harder and harder and harder to find. Not for everybody, for a lot of people. So to get around that, one thing you can do is create your own products. Okay, and I'm not going to discuss that in this podcast, but it could be as simple as creating your own brand on a mass manufactured product that you can import from China, which is not really something that I do. Or it can be inventing a product. I invented a product. It's a very small seller. This isn't like something that's earning me tens of thousands a year. But I invented, if you want to call it, that's really not inventing, but I put together an LED lighting kit for a model car, a model Batmobile car. I'm the only seller on Amazon who has it. But it's something that sells 1 or 2 a week. It's not like it's not like an everyday product. It's very, very extremely focused niche. But there was a big write-up in one of the entrepreneur magazines. I forget if it was Fortune or Forbes, and it was about a very small company that invented speakers, a special type of MP3 speaker that's a hot seller on Amazon. They invented it, and that requires a little bit of capital to do that. It's not impossible. So what Cody brought up was bundling products. And yes, one of the ways that you get around competition is to bundle your product with like accessories. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. And Cody, I have a bunch of web addresses for you. I'm going to read off in a moment. That's going to give you all the information you need about bundling. But yes, bundling products will help A, differentiate you from other sellers, and B, it'll get you a higher profit margin for the combined items in the bundle versus if you sold the items individually. That is possible. Doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time, but yes, a little bit of research, you can do that. So I have an example. I bought, I think from Toys R Us a couple years back, I bought, I forget the name of the product, but it's that robot that you learn your ABCs and your spelling, and it's made for kids. And it was really, there was several dozens of sellers selling the same product. Well, I took the same product and I bundled it with the accessory cartridges. You buy the extra cartridges you put in the robot, and it's additional math and learning examples, etc. And I did very well with that because I found the stuff on sale for the robot itself and then the accessories. I found them, I think it was Toys R Us or Walmart, I forget. And then when I received them, I bundled the robot and like 2 or 3 of the extra cartridges together, and I was able to sell it for comparably a very high price versus selling the products individually. And I was the only listing on Amazon. I had to create my own listing. You have to create your own listing for to be in the Amazon catalog if you're introducing a brand new product. So a bundle is actually considered one product together when you're adding it to the Amazon catalog. And you can do a search on Amazon Seller Help on creating a bundle, or by one of the links I'm going to give you, it'll tell you how to do that. But Amazon assigns an ASIN, which Amazon Serial Identification Number, I think it stands for, an Amazon ASIN to that bundle. And if you're the first to create it, you can typically ward off. Many other sellers won't bother. Many other sellers will be scratching their head. How did he do that? How can he make that much money? So that's one very effective way for you to be able to differentiate yourself. You're creating a barrier of entry to other sellers by creating your own bundle. It could be kitchen knives, high-end kitchen knives, and a high-end sharpener packaged together. It could be, a toy and its accessories, like I said, like a Polly Pocket doll and like 4 dresses or something. It could be a back-to-school kit, right? Rubber, cement, pencils, a portfolio, whatever. It can be cell phone accessories, a iPhone 5 case, earbuds, speakers, screen protector, etc. It could be a high-end recording kit. I'm looking at the microphone I'm using for recording this podcast. It could be like a high-end microphone and a microphone stand and a pop filter and I don't know, headphones. It could be a laptop case and an extra charging cord, right? So the possibilities are limitless. What you do have to think about is when you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I bundle? You kind of have to do your own research and take a look at all the major categories and look at the top selling items. So you may see that a top selling item in kitchen and dining is a specific knife set. So if you're looking at that knife set and you're saying, okay, this Cuisinart T1000 knife set is a hot seller, where can I find this at a lower price and bundle it with a cutting board and a knife sharpener and sell it at a premium? Okay, so you can't just go in blindly and say, okay, I'm going to create a bundle that's going to have these components. You have to kind of keep your finger on the pulse of what's selling. And Amazon is very gracious to us as sellers, or as anybody. Even a consumer can go on Amazon.com and look at the top 100 items. They can look at the sales rank of an item and see where it falls. And then you have to start thinking creatively out of the box. Where can I find a product or a very similar product that's inexpensive and an accessory that's inexpensive and combine it? And then when you've combined it into that bundle, you want to take a close look at the original listing or a listing of a competing product and build your Amazon product page, which you do yourself when you're adding a product to the catalog for the first time, using a similar keyword, similar title. Don't do any copyright infringement. Don't sell an El Cheapo knife set and call it Cuisinart. You can't do that. Or say like Cuisinart. You can't do that. But there's certainly, if you buy a Cuisinart set of knives and bundle it with a knife sharpener, you're still going to be able to call it Cuisinart because it's a Cuisinart product that's included in the bundle, right? And that, by modeling your product listing after an existing successful one with good photos and good keywords and good descriptions, etc., you can effectively show up in the search results on Amazon and sell your product. So, Cody, here are some links for you that's going to give you more information you know what to do with on bundling and how to bundle and some ideas for bundling. So grab a pen. If you're driving, don't do this while you're driving. Wait till you get home or stop the car or something. The first link is from my own blog. It's at jordanmalik.com/blog/bundle, all lowercase. jordanmalik.com/blog/bundle. JORDAN, M as in Michael, ALIK.com / the word blog, right? BLOG, Boston, Larry, Ostrich, Giant, BLOG, /bundle with a B as in Boston, U as in under, N as in Nancy, D as in dog, L as in Larry, E as in elephant. jordanmalik.com /blog/bundle. Here's an article, another URL by Skip McGrath, who's the master of bundling. I've promoted Skip McGrath's Amazon, complete Amazon marketing system, which is available at jordanmalik.com/course 1. See jordanmalik.com/course and the number 1. That's Skip McGrath's complete Amazon marketing system. Talk about the master of figuring out what's hot and creating a bundle. This guy knows how to do it. And here's an article for you to read. It's a redirect. The web address is bit.ly/bundling1. That's bit.ly/bundling, B as in boy, U as in under, N as in Nancy, D as in dog, L as in Larry, I as in interesting. N is in Nancy. G is in George, and the number 1. bit.ly/bundling and the number 1 right after it, all lowercase, all together. And also, here is Skip's 20 tips, and I want you to pay attention to number 4. He has 20 tips to selling on Amazon. Pay attention to number 4 in it. This redirect is bit.ly bundling 2. So just like the last one I gave you, but the number 2 at the end. bit.ly/bundling, all lowercase, bit.ly/bundling, bundling 2, the number 2. Thanks, Cody. Cody gets 7 of my best-selling ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. They're worth well over $75 total. Cody, please contact me at AskJordan.net. Go to AskJordan.net and then click on the little envelope icon in the upper right-hand corner, near the upper right-hand corner under Contact Me, so I can, so you can send me an email and I'll send you your ebooks. If you, the listener, have a question about selling on Amazon you'd like answered, go to AskJordan.net. First, look at the other episodes because your question might already be answered there. If not, you can call 516-619-online. That's 516-619-6654. That's not a live person. It goes right to voicemail. You just leave your question there. If I pick your question to answer, you'll get 7 of my best-selling ebooks, just like Cody. The total price for the public is over $75, and you get to hear your voice on my podcast. While you're there, please subscribe to my free newsletter for Amazon sellers. I give away a ton of free information with that newsletter. Strategies, examples of what to sell, etc. So just go to AskJordan.net, scroll down on the right-hand side, and look for the sign-up form. Hey, thanks for listening to the Ask Jordan podcast. We'll see you again on our next episode.